Welcome to the CX Live Dialogues. I'm delighted to have with us today Nick Condon, the Managing Director EMEA at Squiz. Nick is a seasoned leader in the digital industry, bringing a unique combination of knowledge and experience across information technology, media, marketing, and strategic leadership. Along with roles at Apple Computer and iHeartRadio, Nick was Chief Digital Officer and Head of Government Digital Services for the South Australian Government. Nick led the strategic vision for whole of government digital transformation, including online services, accessibility, open data, and the government's digital design system, as well as leading the government's digital COVID response. These strategies saved the government millions of dollars, aligned government staff, and significantly improved citizens' digital experience. Now, as Managing Director of Squiz, Nick leads a passionate team of technology specialists to transform the digital experience of customers, citizens, and students for some of the UK and Europe's most innovative organizations. Welcome, Nick. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Hey, great to be chatting. Thanks for your time.
Likewise. Now, Nick, clearly the digital experience segment is really picking up. What emerging digital transformation trends are companies prioritizing to stay ahead in delivering exceptional customer experience? And how are they fostering innovation within their own enterprises?
I promised myself this wouldn't be the first couple of words that I'd splatter out of my mouth, but I'm going to do it. AI is obviously a big thing at the moment. And look, I think it's still a big space for discovery. A lot of people trying to understand exactly what to do with AI, and probably more importantly, who to do it with. But underpinning AI, I think, is still a lot of challenges that we've always had in the digital space. We're trying to create relevant moments. We're trying to connect one-on-one and engage individuals, and really trying to convert them through those digital channels which we have. So for me, along with AI, I think there's a huge focus now on the overall digital experience, from awareness and understanding how to connect in those first instances with your brand among a sea of others, right through to getting them into your platform and holding that first person data. And then really using things like personalization to target really emotive and contextually relevant experiences. So for me, they're the big things that I think organizations are really focusing on at the moment when it comes to their whole digital experience.
Indeed. And clearly, as you rightly mentioned, that there's a lot of transformation that's happening at the back end of AI. How are enterprises redefining themselves and, of course, their metrics to better assess and improve digital experiences, ensuring higher levels of customer satisfaction and loyalty as we enter into this area of hyper-personalization?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. I think forget the days of the old school Google Analytic metrics like time on site and pages viewed. I think in this digital space today, we're really swapping out the yardsticks for microscopes. So really deep diving into those ultra metrics that measure feelings, not just clicks. We really are looking for ways to understand better the individuals, how they're feeling, how they're connecting with our products, how that's resonating, and then how can you use that personalized data to push an individual further through their conversion pipelines and get them more engaged and more passionate about your brands. I think that as well as that, people are understanding that it's not just one tool anymore or one piece of technology that has all the answers when it comes to digital. And bringing something like a digital experience platform to the center allows you to bring in all of those other bits of technology, whether it's CRMs, whether it's databases, or other things that you've got that are helping to enrich that experience for an individual.
Certainly. Now, in what ways are you seeing firms utilizing their AI-driven insights to anticipate customer needs and behaviors? And how is this influencing their strategies for engagement and retention?
Yeah, it's a really fascinating thing to be looking at. AI 3 years ago, I mean, it wasn't even on a lot of people's agendas. Now it's top of the list, and if anything, it's taking positions 1, 2, and 3. I think people are going maybe one of two ways when it comes to AI. There's those that are jumping in at every step. They're finding any piece of technology that's got AI strapped to it, trying to plug it in and maybe stumble and discover. That sounds great in concept, except for the fact that for a lot of these organizations, they don't know who the company is that they're providing that information to. It could be an organization in another country. It could be a competitor. So there's a real risk that sits there. And then when it comes to those large language models that are really helping give generative AI its source, you need to understand that those platforms are really considering all of the world, right? They're taking in every piece of information available, yours that you're sharing and everybody else's. So organizations that are doing that maybe aren't getting the same benefit that the second set of organizations are. Those that are taking a maybe slightly more pragmatic approach. They're aware of their data. They're aware of the fact that they want to keep that data within their own organization. They also want to make sure that that language model is maybe restricted to just their organization to give really rich contextual information that their users are wanting. But the reality is, whether it's what way or the first way that I mentioned, users want AI. Users want a more generative, more assistive, more powerful way of doing digital, and organizations need to be considering that one way or the other.
Definitely. Now, how do you see digital channels evolving and the nature of customer interactions that's transforming in this digital dominance?
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing to think about, right? Digital channels used to be pretty clear. And I think for a lot of people, digital strategies were a lot clearer too. We kind of had this evolution of things over time. First, it was the internet overall, and then it started to be mobile and social media came along. And all of a sudden now we're in this world of lots and lots of digital channels, lots and lots of applications within your organization, all holding bits of data. And we don't want to give those users, our end users, our new customers, the people who are using our services, fragmented experiences. You know, I think a lot about organizations, especially here in the UK. If you think about local governments and councils as a good example, you may go through and have 5 or 6 different logins for each part of that website that a council might have. Or if you're going into a private enterprise, you may have to provide specific information to get through certain gates. I think there's a real risk when it comes to digital channels feeling really fragmented. And that will, as we talked just before about feelings and making sure that people who are coming into your digital world have the right emotional feelings, fragmented experiences and lots of hops and jumps are probably one of the biggest barriers, because people expect rich experiences. They expect to be able to get in, do what they need to do in a safe, secure, accessible way, and then be able to get on with whatever it is they're doing next. And so for us as digital leaders, I think what's really important when you think about digital channels is the evolution really needs to talk about bringing everything into one seamless, rich digital experience. That's important for a couple of reasons for me. First of all, the end user gets a smooth single journey. They're not getting different versions of your website or your brand. They're not having to put in different logins in different spaces. And so they get a great experience, which hopefully leads to a good outcome. But probably importantly for an organization, you get a better idea of that entire digital experience. You get to understand your user's buyer journey in a way that maybe you haven't been able to before because of that fragmentation. So for me, digital channels, yes, there's more of them than there's ever been before, but I think clever organizations are choosing the right channels and unifying them into a single, rich, accessible digital experience.
Indeed. Thank you, Nick. It's been a pleasure to have you join us today. And we look forward to meeting you and the Squiz team at the Digital Experience Show in London in October. Until then, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing the team soon.
Thanks. We can't wait to be there.
Likewise. Bye for now.